Subject Irrigation Engineering, chapter Crop Water Requirements, topic Techniques of Water Distribution / Irrigation. So now students, after understanding the types of irrigation, the introduction of irrigation, now let us understand about a few techniques of water irrigation, right? But before starting this, the techniques of water irrigation, let me also tell you that this is also important. This has also been asked in many examinations. That is the types of irrigation projects, right? This is types of irrigation projects. So we have three types. First is the mega irrigation projects or the major irrigation projects, right? These irrigation projects are those projects which are conducted over a land of more than 10,000 hectares. Clear? And 1,000 hectare, I have already told you this, 1 kilometer square, simple, right? Now, the medium engineering projects are those projects in which the area to be irrigated is in between 2,000 to 10,000 hectares. And the small or the minor engineering projects are those projects in which the irrigation area should be less than 2,000 hectares, right? So this question has also been asked in some small state examinations. So that is why I have written that also. Clear? Now coming to the techniques. So broadly classifying, we have three techniques or three methods in which the irrigation can be done, right? So we have discussed type of irrigation. Now coming to the methods of irrigation, right? So we have first of all the surface irrigation technique. We can do the surface irrigation. How can we do it? We have few methods. We have the sprinkler irrigation method and we have the drip irrigation method or technique. Now let us first of all understand about the surface irrigation. Now what is surface irrigation? I have already told you. Now we have a few techniques. The first technique is known as the uncontrolled, or it is also known as flood irrigation or free flooding or ordinary flooding. Now the question is, sir, why you have written 3 or 4 names? One name was more than enough. Yes, it was more than enough, but I have told you that the gate authorities, the gate professors, they can play with you on names, right? They can play with you on names. So hence, you must remember various types of names for the same type of flooding, right? So first one is uncontrolled or flood irrigation or free flooding or ordinary flooding. Okay. Now second type of method is known as the border strip method or border flooding. Same method. Border strip method or border flooding. Same. And remember, this is very important because questions have been asked directly in gate examination from this topic. That is the border strip method or border flooding method. Okay. The third type is known as the check method. Fourth one is the basin irrigation. Fifth one is the furrow irrigation. This is also important, furrow irrigation, right? Small theoretical questions have been asked on this topic, the furrow irrigation. Then we have the sprinkler and the drip irrigation system, right? Now let us understand one by one that what these types of irrigation systems are, but basically focusing on the border strip method, right? So first of all, let us discuss the uncontrolled or flood irrigation, or which is also a free flooding or ordinary flooding. Now let me first of all rub this. I hope you are getting it, right? Initially we will be starting with theoretical portion, then we will be coming to the numerical portions also, right? So let me first of all rub it. Now first type is known as the uncontrolled irrigation, uncontrolled flooding or free flooding, right? That comes under the category of surface irrigation, right? So the first one is free flooding. Free flooding, which is also known as uncontrolled flooding, right? So what we do in this type of flooding, what we are actually doing is that we have a main ditch. We have a main ditch, or the main, you can say main drain is there. A main drain is there, right? So we have a main ditch or main drain. Let me write it here. Main ditch. Main ditch is there, right? Now from the main ditch, we have subsidiary ditches also. Now we have subsidiary ditches also from the main ditch. I have just drawn one ditch, two subsidiary ditches and one main ditches, but over a particular land or irrigation land, we have multiple main ditches and multiple subsidiary ditches, right? So we have a main ditches and we have subsidiary ditches. These are known as the subsidiary ditches. Subsidiary ditches. Now from these subsidiary ditches, what we do is that we have some openings, right? What we do is that we have few openings. Now one opening is here. One opening is here. Let us say one opening is here. One opening is here. Similarly, subsidiary ditches, we have one opening is here. And let us say we have one opening here, one opening here, and one opening here, and so on. So what is happening when water will be coming? So water will be coming from a higher elevation, right? Due to, you can say, gravitational force, it will be coming from a higher elevation to lower elevation, right? Now water will be coming here. Even water will reach to the junction of subsidiary and the main ditch. What will happen? It will go to the subsidiary ditches. The water, some water will go straight and some water will go to the subsidiary ditches. Now we have opening also. So what will be happening is that the water will be going free flooding. This is the free flooding. The water is free to move, or water is free to go anywhere. So anywhere the water can go. Anywhere the water can go. Similarly here also, anywhere can the water can go. Clear? So this type of irrigation is known as the free flooding or ordinary irrigation or uncontrolled irrigation or free flooding, which I have just told you, right? Clear? Or flood type of irrigation. So this method is known as the free flooding method. Clear? I hope that you have understood what is happening in this type, because when you go to the books they have also drawn a few diagrams. For example, in case of irrigation engineering, I would recommend you to refer S.K. Garg. So S.K. Garg is a very good book for irrigation engineering, but whatever I will be teaching, that is more than enough for gate perspective as far as the gate point of view is concerned. Okay? Now in those books diagrams have been drawn, but it is very difficult to understand how the water is flowing actually. Clear? So what I have told you, water is coming, going to the subsidiary ditches, and we have openings also, and it is going freely to the land, free to the culturable land, right, or free to the irrigation land. Clear? Okay. Now one more important thing I would like to tell you, that now you do not have any control. You do not have any control on this water. This water can go anywhere in the land. So that is why it is also known as uncontrolled flooding. Uncontrolled flooding. Now the question is, sir, in which areas or on which lands do we apply this type of irrigation, right? So generally this type of irrigation is provided in hilly areas. Generally hilly areas. This type of flooding is generally provided in hilly areas, right? Second thing is that we do not have any control. No control is there. No control. The third thing which we can say about this type of flooding is that it is basically used for closed crops, right? What are closed crops? Which are very close to each other. Which are very close to each other. The distance between two crops are very close to each other, right? So for example, it is used for closed crops. Closed crop. Types of closed crops are wheat and rice. Wheat, rice, etc. It is mainly used for closed crops, right? One more thing which you can write for this type of flooding is that the water application efficiency is very low. Now what is water application efficiency? I will be telling you in detail when we will be discussing about the application efficiencies of water, right? Irrigation efficiencies. So you can write it, for the time being, just write down that water application efficiency is very low. Water application efficiency is low. Water application efficiency is low, right? So this was more than enough regarding the free flooding or the uncontrolled type of flooding. Clear? Now let's come to the next type of irrigation, next technique of irrigation, which is very important, known as the border flooding or border strip method, right? So let us rub this. Now let's come to the second type, known as the border irrigation or border flooding also, or it is also sometimes it is also known as the border strip method also, right? So border flooding. Now the second one is border flooding. Border flooding. This is important, students. This is important. Clear? Border flooding. So in border flooding, what we are doing is that, let us say we have a main ditch, or the let us say main ditch is there. This is the main ditch, right? This is the main ditch. One ditch is here, and let us say one ditch is here. One ditch is here, and this is the land which we want to irrigate. This is the land between the two ditches that we want to irrigate, right? So these are the, let's say, ditches. These are the ditches. Now, if we want to irrigate this land, what we're doing is that we are providing borders. Let us say this is one border, this is another border, right? This is another border, this is another border, and so on, right? Now, what we are doing in this type of method, right? In this type of method, what we are doing, let me use another marker to make you understand. Now, what we are doing is that we are opening this ditch. We are opening this. We are opening this. We are opening this, right? So now what is happening is that water, when let us say water is going from this direction to this direction, the water was going from this to this direction, then due to the and these are drawn on contours, right? So what is happening is that this has a higher elevation, this has a lower elevation, so the water will come to this, the water will come to this, water will come to this, and we also have openings here. Here also we have openings, so water will come, irrigate this particular land. Let us say the length of the land is given by L, clear, and the you can say the width of this border is given by W. This is given by W, right? We also have openings here, so water comes, it goes to this ditch and goes out. It goes to this ditch, water comes, it goes to this ditch and it goes out. Simple, right? So this is what is happening in the border type of flooding. Clear? Now, one more important thing is that these you can say these you can say borders. So these borders, these are known as levees, right? Levees. Levees. In some books, it is also known as bunds. 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 In some books, it is also written as dikes. It is also written as dikes. Clear? So what is the shape of this bund or levee or dike? So these bunds or levee, this is also levee, this is also levee, right? So these bunds or these levees, they have a shape like this. They have a shape like this. So this is the shape of a bunch or a levee, and generally the height of this bund is taken as 30 centimeter. 30 centimeters generally the height of this bund is taken as. Clear? Now the next important thing in the you can say the length, about the length, right? So generally what we have seen is that from the practical point of view and whatever is written in books, generally this length is taken as generally from 100 to 400 meters. 100 to 400 meters. Now talking about the width of this border, right? The width of this border is generally taken from 10 to 20 meters. 10 to 20 meters is generally the width of this border. So the question is, sir, is this important? As far as the GATE point of view is concerned, this is not that much important, because I have already told you that in GATE examination, the professors of IITs, they are mainly focusing on the application part or the analytical part, right? They are not focusing on the remembering part. But few, suppose some theoretical question comes, this is important because these questions have already been asked in ESC examination, state level examination, whatever I have told you, right? So they have also asked about the depth of the bunds, right? They have also asked what are bunds or what are levees or what are dikes, right? Sometimes dikes are also asked, sometimes the length is also asked, sometimes the width has also been asked, right? So whatever has been asked, I have written each and everything. Clear? Now coming to a very important topic as far as the GATE point of view is concerned, about the you can see the time taken for the irrigation in case of a border flooding. Now let us discuss about the time taken for irrigation. Now let me rub this. I hope that you have understood this. Now let me take only one ditch, one main ditch. Let me take one border, right? Now let me rub this to make you understand about the time. Now let me take one ditch only. Let us say with the black marker. Let me use the black marker. Now let us say this is one ditch I have taken. This is one ditch I have taken, right? Water is going from this to this direction. Clear? This is the direction of water, and this is one border. Let us say one part is there, right? This is one part like this. Clear? Now we have an opening here. So when water will be coming, water will be going in this direction. It will be going in this direction, right? It will be irrigating this land. Clear? It will be irrigating this particular land, particular strip, because we have bunds or levees, so the water cannot go beyond, right? So it will be inside it. Now the question is, how much time is taken by water to irrigate this particular land, right? So time taken by water, time taken to irrigation, time taken for irrigation, time taken for irrigation. Now how to get it? I can directly write the formula also, but that is not important. Important is in the formula itself, the gate authorities can do some twists, right? So that is why it is important to derive the formula. So let us say that the time taken by water to irrigate this particular land, let us say it is T, right? Let us say it is T. Let us say it is time taken for irrigation T, right? It can be minute or second or whatever, right? Okay. Now let me take a particular strip. Let me take a particular strip of this, right? Let the area of this strip be dA, small dA. Small dA means small area, right? And let the time taken by water from this opening to this, you can say, small strip of area be dt. Let us say it is dt. The time taken by water to reach from this portion to this portion, it is dt. And the area from this portion to this portion, this area, let us say it is A. This portion, let us the area is A. Clear? And let Q be the discharge. Q be the discharge of water. Q is the discharge. Q is the discharge of irrigation water. Irrigation water in main ditch. In main ditch. This is your main ditch. For main ditch I am writing MD. Main ditch is MD. Clear? Okay. Now just compare the units, you will get the answer, right? Now what will be QDT? What will be QDT? Now what is the unit of discharge? Meter cube per second, or means volume per unit time. If I multiply discharge with time, what will I get? I will get volume. So QDT will be equal to the volume of water. Volume of water supplied to, let us say this is A, this is B, this is C, this is D, right? Volume of water supplied to A, B, C, D in time T, in time small t, dt, in time dt. That will be the volume of water that has been supplied to this particular area in time dt. Simple, right? Now, whatever volume has been supplied, you know that the mass inflow should be the mass outflow. Now, whatever volume has been applied, now can I write it like this? Can I write it like this? That Q into dt should be equal to, right? Again, I am repeating, Q into dt should be equal to Y into dA. Now, what is Y? I will explain you. Let me write it here. Y is the average depth of water. Y is the average depth of water. Y is the average depth of water. Let us say this is the particular ABCD land. So if I take the front, this is the top view, right? If I look at the front view, so this will be the depth of water. This is the depth, Y. Depth of water. For how much depth we have irrigated that particular land, right? So Y into dA for this particular dA, right? Y into dA, right? Plus A into I into dA. A into I into dA. Now what is this I? Now I is the infiltration capacity, because whenever you have applied some water will go to the ground also. That means in case of losses, we have already discussed this in hydrology. So I into D. I is the infiltered water. Infiltered water. Right? I into D. Clear? Okay? Now I hope that you have understood this, you can say, equation. Clear? Okay? Now you have understood this equation. Now, so I into dt, I into dt. Clear? Now I hope that you have understood this equation. Even if you have not understood this equation, you can compare the units and get the answer. So let me compare the units first of all. Now, what is the unit of discharge? That is meter cube per unit time. Let us say for time being second, right? Meter cube per second. Unit of time, second. Second got cancelled out. We have got meter cube. It should be equal to, what is the unit of depth? That is meter. What is the unit of area? That is meter square, that is meter cube, plus what is the unit of area? That is meter square. What is the unit of infiltration? It is in meters per hour, or means distance divided by time, or meters per second, whatever, into meters per second, and into what is dt? Dt is in seconds. So second got cancelled out. Meter cube meter cube and meter cube. So by this also you can make this equation. Clear? Okay. So let me rub this, because whatever water is coming, now some water will be there in the form of, you can say, depth of irrigation, and some will be infiltered, right? Infiltration will take place. So the total water will be, the outflow will be equal to the inflow. I can say inflow will be equal to outflow. Simple. Now let me rearrange this, right? Now if I rearrange this equation, can I get it like this? Can I get it that q dt, q into dt minus, can I take it here, a into I into dt is equals to y into dA. Not a problem, not a problem at all, right? Now what can I do is that, let me take dt common. Let me take dt common. So if I take dt common, so let me put it here. If I take dt common, what will I get? I will be getting q minus ai. So let me take q minus ai to the denominator. It will be equal to y into dA divided by q minus ai. Simple, not an issue. Clear? Now what can I do is that, can I integrate it? Can I integrate time dt as well as the area, because I have to get the value for the whole area. Clear? If I integrate it, what will I be getting? Now let me do it like this. Yeah, if I integrate it, on left hand side I will be getting time. On right hand side, if I take I common, and it will be, we will be left with q by I minus a or whatever, right? Or you can do it like this, take y common, because y will be constant or average depth, take y common. So y, if I take common, integration of dA divided by q minus ai, right? Okay. Now what it will be equal to? It will be equal to integration of 1 upon 1 minus x dx. How much it is? It is ln of x, right? ln of x divided by the differentiation of this part, right? So it will be equal to, time will be equal to y. Now ln of how much it will be? Q minus ai, ln of q minus ai, right? Divided by differentiation of ai minus ai. Differentiation of minus ai will be equal to minus I, right? Divided by minus I. So this will be the time period, and plus one constant also. Plus one constant will also be there, that is c. I hope that you remember your class 12th mathematics integration and differentiation. Clear? Or the engineering mathematics integration differentiation. Clear? Now the question is how to determine this c. So can I write it like this, that at t is equals to 0, it means that at the point just the water is just coming out of this, you can say, opening, area irrigated will be equal to 0. Simple, no issues. So if I put t is equals to 0 and a is equals to 0, so I will be getting c is equals to, this will come to this side, y divided by a ln of q, y divided by a ln of q. This is equation number 2, this is equation number 1. So let me put the value of constant c in equation number 1. So let me see what I will be getting. So let me rub this. I hope you are getting it, right? So let me rub this. Because this is important. You can directly run the formula also, but what I think is that the GATE professors or the IIT professors, they can do some twist with the different, with the you can say derivation portion, right? They can do some any trick they can do, right? Okay. So now what can it be? Or they can also ask you this question. Also they can ask you this term. They can also ask you. So you should know how it has been derived, right? So let me put c here. So if I put c here, can I get it like this? That t will be equal to minus y by I. This is ln of q minus ai. Let it bracket also. Ln of q minus ai, and this c is equals to y by I. That is plus y by I ln of q. Now what is log m minus log n? It is log m by n, simple, right? So can I write it like this? If I take y by I common, it will become equal to ln of q plus ln of q minus ln of q minus ai, or I can also write it like this, q divided by q minus ai. Simple, right? Now this is ln. if we want to convert a natural logarithm into log base 10, what we do is that we multiply it with 2.303. Simple, right? So it will be equal to, or I can also write it like that, t time period is equals to 2.303 y divided by I log base 10 q divided by q minus ai. And dear students, this is very important equation. Let me give this equation 2 or 3 stars or whatever. So this equation is very important. Sorry. Either you can directly learn this equation, very good. If you can't learn this equation, you should know how it has been derived. Very important, because questions have been asked in GATE examination directly from this equation. That the time required for the irrigating let's say 5 hectares of land, and the infiltration rate is also given to you, discharge is also given to you, then what it will the time required. Clear? Now if you do some, you can say twist with this equation. Now if you do some twist with this equation, what can you get? You can get it like this. The A max, if you want to determine from this equation, take I this side, I into t, 2.303 divided by y. So 2.303 into y, and I will be a constant term, and 10 raised to the power x, because let us say that the constant is x. So 10 raised to the power x, you will be getting some value of A, right? So A will be equal to A maximum, that the maximum area irrigated will be equal to discharge divided by the infiltration. Simple. This is also very, very important. I'm not going in that derivation how this has been derived, but this is also important, because that is not important how it has been derived, but what the conclusion is, that is important. That the maximum area irrigated will be equal to discharge divided by the infiltration. Clear? Okay. So I hope that you have understood the classification of border flooding. What is border flooding and what are the various formulae of border flooding? We will be solving some numericals also on the basis of this. Okay. Now let's move to the next type of flooding. After border flooding, we have the check flooding. So let me rub this. These two equations are important, very important. Clear? So let me rub this, and let's come to the next type of flooding, that is known as the check flooding. So let me rub this. I hope you are getting it. This is very important. And keep practicing, okay? So keep practicing, then only you will get a very good rank. So keep practicing. The third type of flooding is known as check flooding. Check flooding. So as from the name it is clear, the flood is it is actually checked. So how it is checked? Now this is the, you can say, main ditch. Clear? Now this is the main ditch, and from the main ditch we also have a field, you can say field canal is also there. A field canal also known as the FC, right? So field canal is also there. Then again we have a main ditch. This is also main ditch known as the MD. This is the field canal. Field canal I am writing with FC. FC is field canal, right? So water is coming, and we have divided this particular irrigation land into, let us say, 4 zones, right? This is the bunds, right? This is zone number 1. This is zone number 2. This is zone number 3. Zone number 4, and same we are also having the many zones in the irrigation land. So what we are doing is that, first of all, we are opening this. If we will open this, then this will be, you can say, irrigated. This particular land will be irrigated. Then we will close this. What then we'll do? We'll open this. It will get irrigated. Then again we will close this. We'll open this. It will get irrigated. We close this. We open this. It will get irrigated. Then we close this. So that is how we are doing this type of, you can say, irrigation. This type of irrigation is known as the check flooding. So we are checking it. We are checking it. We don't want to, you can say, go it up to a particular beyond level, right? So we are checking the flooding. This type of flooding is known as the check flooding, right? So where it is used, it is mainly used for crops like jowar, right? It is also used for jowar. It is sometimes also used for, you can say, paddy. For paddy also, it is also used for paddy. It is also used for rice also. If you, some of you might be from rice, right? Some of you might be from northeast side, right? Then you must have seen how rice, you can say, is irrigated. It is irrigated generally by the check flooding. Clear? If the rice is grown in hilly areas, it is flooded. It is, you can say, irrigated by the free flooding or the uncontrolled flooding. But if it is the normal land, let's say West Bengal or northeastern side, it is generally done by check flooding. Clear? Now The next type of flooding is known, the next type of irrigation is known as the basin flooding. Basin irrigation or basin flooding. Basin flooding. Right? It is a special type of check flooding. It is a special type of check flooding. So in basic flooding, what we are doing is that, let us say this is the main canal, the field canal, then we have the subsidiary canals. This is the main canal, this is the main canal, this is the subsidiary canals, right? We have subsidiary canals. So what we are doing is that we are providing a particular section. It can be either a circular, it can be a rectangular, it can be a square, right? So water is coming, so water is going to this direction, and we have provided with the help of bunds, we have, you can say, surrounded a particular area, and in that particular area we have crops, right? Mainly it is used for orchards. Mainly it is used for orchards or fruits, etc. Right, so what we are doing is that water will be coming, it will be irrigating that area. So it will be irrigating that area, it will be irrigating that area, and it will be irrigating that area, right? So these types of flooding is known as the basin flooding, and the shape of this basin, it can either be rectangular, it can either be circular, whatever you want, depending on what type of bunds you have provided or what type of levees you have provided. Simple, right? The last type of irrigation is known as the furrow irrigation. So furrow irrigation, let me explain you the furrow irrigation here. So last type of irrigation is known as the furrow irrigation. Fifth one, furrow irrigation. Furrow irrigation. So this is also important. Now in furrow irrigation, what we are actually doing is that we have furrows. Furrows means, let us say that we have a higher land here, then we dig some furrows, and we have a higher land here. On this higher land we have crops. It can be a vegetable, it can be a sugar cane or whatever, right? And we have up to this mark, we have the water level. This is the water level, right? Between the furrows, right? So what we are doing is that by the seepage, the water goes to the, you can say, to the root zone of the crops, right? From the seepage, the water goes to the root zone of the crops. Sometimes, if the flooding is very, if the furrow is very deep, what will happen is that, let us say that water level is up to here, so water can go to this also, like this also, right? So this type of irrigation is known as the furrow irrigation. The best advantage of furrow irrigation is that in furrow irrigation, the evaporation losses are very less, right? So the advantage would be very less evaporation losses, very less evaporation losses. So evaporation losses are very less. Clear? About considering the depth of this furrow, the depth of the furrow can be around 10 to 30 centimeter. It depends, but nearly 10 to 30 centimeter can be the depth of the furrow. Clear? What type of, you can say, the crops, this type of irrigation is used. Generally, you can say for sugarcane this is used. For the furrow irrigation for sugarcane, or it's sometimes also used for groundnuts also, right? But mainly for sugarcane, this type of irrigation is used, right? So I hope that you have understood the various types of irrigation. Now let's come to the next part in the irrigation, that is known as the drip irrigation and the sprinkler irrigation. So let me tell you in very short, in a very brief. First of all, let me talk about the drip irrigation. Let me rub this, right? Because whatever was important, the border flooding was very important. So I focused on border flooding very much, right? About in these three terms. So in GATE examination, very less probability of these questions being asked. But in other examination, these questions can be asked. So that is why I am explaining you other methods also. So the next one is drip irrigation, right? So drip irrigation we are generally providing in arid regions. For example, Rajasthan or some other parts of country where there is scarcity of water. So in those places we are generally providing the drip irrigation system. Now next one is the drip irrigation, right? Drip irrigation. So in drip irrigation, what we are doing is that, let us say this is my land, right? So we have a series of pipes over particular land, right? We have a series of pipes over a particular land, and what we are doing is that, let us say this is my crop, right? So directly above the root zone of the crop, let us say this is my pipe which is coming. This is the pipe which is coming, which has been laid on the irrigation land. So just above the root zone, we have openings in the pipe, just above the root zone. So what will be happening? Just drip by drip, drop by drop, the water will be directly going to the roots of the plant. So what will be happening? There will be no evaporation losses, right? No evaporation losses will be there, and this type of irrigation is known as the drip irrigation. Generally, it is adopted in for arid regions. For arid regions in India, generally Rajasthan. Generally in India, Rajasthan. So this type of irrigation is generally done, right? But this type of irrigation is also very costly also, right? So we also have another type of irrigation. Third one is sprinkler irrigation. Sprinkler irrigation, and sprinkler irrigation is a type of overhead irrigation. Clear? You can also classify irrigation into two types. Earlier we classified irrigation into three types. We have the surface irrigation, subsurface irrigation, and we had the overhead irrigation. But you can also classify irrigation into two types. One is the pressurized irrigation, and there is the non-pressurized irrigation. Because in drip irrigation and sprinkler irrigation, water comes with pressure. So in pressurized irrigation, we have the drip irrigation and sprinkler irrigation, and unpressurized irrigation, whatever we have studied till now, it was an unpressurized irrigation, right? Okay, so this can also be done. So in sprinkler irrigation, what is there? Let us say this is a particular land. We have crops here. On land we have crops. So a series of network of pipes is there. Then we have the like this. We have sprinkles like this. We have sprinkles. We have nozzle system. We have sprinkles. So it sprinkles water. So it sprinkles water on the ground, right? It sprinkles water on the ground, and this type of irrigation is known as the sprinkler irrigation, right? What is the disadvantage of sprinkler irrigation? There are mainly two disadvantages. For example, you have pipes. So if you can say the water quality is very poor, if the water is very turbid, these pipes can get choked, right? So what we have to do is that we have to routinely we have to clean the pipes. So this is the basic disadvantage. Second is that it requires a lot of initial capital, right? This is also a disadvantage. Another disadvantage would be, now this is the water which is getting sprinkled on the ground. So the corner areas where the sprinkle cannot reach, so these areas get they do not get proper irrigation, they do not get proper water. So this is the basic disadvantage of sprinkler irrigation. Clear? So I hope that you have understood the types of irrigation, the methods of irrigation, how the techniques of irrigation, how irrigation actually done, right? But the most important was border irrigation. Clear? So now let's move forward and solve a few numericals based on the techniques of irrigation. Thank you.